I think everybody in this room, no matter whose side you're on, we can all agree to accept that there's probably not going to be a sequel. It ends with us, guys.
This is literally just happening out in Hollywood. Critics' Choice Awards happened. Chelsea Handler is hosting it. I don't think Blake Lively is going to...
Blake Lively is in full crisis mode after Chelsea Handler took a major dig at her during the 2025 Critics' Choice Awards. Handler mocked Blake's entire legal battle, dismissing it as a ridiculous sideshow, and even thanked her for the entertainment. The audience, filled with Hollywood's biggest names, erupted in laughter.
I am your DEI host, Chelsea Handler. I want to acknowledge that we've been through a lot lately, not just here in Los Angeles, but our entire country. Waking up every day, not knowing what news we are going to hear that will disappoint or horrify us. So it is important in times like these to have a distraction. And that's why I want to personally extend my gratitude to Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively. We can all agree to accept that there's probably not going to be a sequel.
Making it clear that Blake's attempt to play the victim has completely backfired. The irony? There's no sequel in sight. This really does end with us. For years, Blake Lively may have seen herself as Hollywood royalty, expecting sympathy and unwavering support. But that illusion shattered the moment Chelsea Handler took the stage. This wasn't just a joke. It was a brutal takedown. Handler didn't just target Blake. She also went after Justin Baldoni in front of an A-list crowd. Safe to say, Blake wasn't laughing. The Critics' Choice Awards are usually a predictable affair, full of polite speeches, but this time, Handler turned it into a roast. She stepped up like she was holding a flamethrower and aimed it straight at Blake. The most shocking part? Hollywood didn't rally behind Blake. They laughed, and not in an awkward or nervous way, but with genuine amusement. This was the industry's way of signaling that they were done with her carefully crafted sob story. Handler's closing remarks were especially brutal, making it clear that the film world has moved on from Blake's lawsuit. The media isn't buying it anymore either, and even some of Blake's own friends in Hollywood seem to have turned on her. Back in December 2024, Blake likely believed she was heading toward a major victory. She probably imagined herself as a fearless woman standing up for justice in a dramatic courtroom battle. According to insiders, Justin Baldoni claimed she tried to take over his movie, pulling the same move she allegedly has in the past.
And it's just disgusting when you go after someone, you try to destroy their life, and actually the evidence shows something different. Blake Lively was no victim here. They removed the emoji. They removed the piece about the reporter showing that Melissa saw it for the first time then and obviously couldn't be a part of it. And they removed the rest of the text messages showing that they're joking around.
Pretending to just be the star, but actually demanding full control as director, editor, and producer. In the end, Baldoni was reportedly pushed aside, even forced to stay away from the film's premiere and denied access to the final cut, which Blake insisted on approving herself. But then the tables turned. Blake sued Baldoni, accusing him of harassment and spreading false rumors to damage her reputation. She expected to win and come out looking like a survivor. The issue? Baldoni refused to be the villain in what he saw as a fabricated story. She took her complaint to the California Human Rights Division, which, according to Baldoni's lawyers, was simply a strategic move to get the New York Times to publish a scathing article against him, boosting her public image. Then, in January 2025, Baldoni hit back hard, with a massive $400 million lawsuit against Blake, Ryan Reynolds, and the New York Times, alleging defamation and civil extortion. And this time, he came armed with receipts. The lawsuit exposed damning evidence, including texts, emails, and footage that painted a very different picture. Blake's entire case unraveled quickly, revealing inconsistencies and exaggerated claims. Baldoni's countersuit shifted the narrative completely, exposing how she twisted the facts to fit her victim narrative. And now, with the industry laughing at her instead of standing behind her, Justin Baldoni just delivered undeniable proof that Blake Lively wasn't telling the truth. HR documents and other key records painted a picture of him not as a villain, but as someone who was falsely accused. Chelsea Handler clearly saw through the situation and used her Critics' Choice Awards platform to mock Blake's entire victim act. She never outright called Blake a liar, but she didn't have to. The way the Hollywood crowd erupted in laughter said everything. Why are we even here? Because Blake was the one who filed this lawsuit, not Justin. If Hollywood actually believed her and Ryan Reynolds, would the entire room be laughing? No. If her case had real weight, no one would find it funny. But they don't. Then there's the media side of things. Blake allegedly tried to manipulate the press, even referencing a supposed conversation with Steve Sarowitz, the head of Wayfarer Studios, which Justin co-founded. In her lawsuit, she claimed Sarowitz said, "I will protect the studio like Israel protected itself from Hamas." But the problem? She presented it as a direct quote, even though she admitted it was just something she heard had been said. Her plan was clear. Feed a sensationalized version of events to the tabloids, frame Baldoni as a monster, and win public sympathy. Too bad Chelsea Handler wasn't buying it, and she had no problem exposing it live on TV. This is a nightmare for Blake and Ryan because the Critics' Choice Awards aren't usually the place for harsh takedowns. The room is packed with critics and studio executives who typically play nice with celebrities. Yet even they couldn't hold back their laughter. That's how badly this has spiraled out of control. Blake's PR team had been hard at work for months, pushing stories about Baldoni long before this ever reached a courtroom. They wanted the world to see her as a courageous survivor and him as the villain. But Baldoni didn't just fight back. He came armed with receipts. Now, people are saying that unless Blake suddenly provides real evidence, Justin deserves justice. He's looking to clear his name, get back to making films, and rebuild his career. His emails even suggest that Blake's team had planned this smear campaign from the start. She didn't just drag Baldoni into this. She also roped in the New York Times, using them to push her side of the story. That move backfired spectacularly. Baldoni is now suing the newspaper for $250 million, and they're scrambling to distance themselves from her. Even the most scandal-hungry tabloids, usually unbothered by defamation risks, are steering clear of her claims. Chelsea Handler summed up the absurdity of it all with her sharp wit. She thanked Blake for providing such great entertainment, making it clear that this was never about real justice, just a PR stunt gone completely off the rails. Meanwhile, Blake sat at home, scrolling through social media, watching in real time as people turned her downfall into a joke. This was the exact opposite of what she wanted. She thought she could manipulate the system, play the victim, and be celebrated as a feminist icon. Instead, she's now seen as a manipulative diva whose lies finally caught up to her. Baldoni and his co-plaintiffs, including his publicists, filed a $250 million lawsuit against the New York Times, accusing them of libel and invasion of privacy. His lawyer, Brian Friedman, told CBS that the newspaper knowingly participated in a smear campaign.
Wave of bad press we did see about Blake Lively when the film came out this past summer was not organic. It was totally orchestrated by Justin and his team, and they've gotten their hands on a bunch of texts, especially amongst the PR team, but a couple involving Justin, that seemed to suggest they were ready to, quote, destroy her.
Designed to revive Blake's dwindling relevance. One of the most damning examples, the bizarre breastfeeding scandal. Blake accused Baldoni of making inappropriate comments while she was breastfeeding on set. The claim sounded shocking, until Baldoni presented the receipts. Text messages proved that Blake was the one who invited him into her trailer while she was nursing. She frequently brought up breastfeeding in their conversations, making it clear that she was far from the helpless victim she tried to portray. Now, with Hollywood, the media, and even former allies turning their backs on her, it looks like Blake's power play has officially crashed and burned. Blake Lively's attempt to control the narrative has completely collapsed, and the proof is undeniable. Messages revealed that she constantly brought up certain topics, not just in Baldoni. Once people saw the receipts, it became clear that she had been twisting the truth yet again. Hollywood award shows often encourage sharp jokes, so credit to Chelsea Handler for calling it out. She could have gone even harder on Blake and Ryan Reynolds, but honestly, she didn't need to. Ryan Reynolds also faces pressure, as staying with Blake might damage his career. With the trial set for March 2026, the stakes are high. If she loses, it could mark the end of her Hollywood career. The leaked texts referring to Swift and Reynolds as her loyal dragons only worsened her image. Handler's roast wasn't just a joke, it was a clear message. Hollywood is done protecting Blake Lively, and her downfall is happening in plain sight. Blake Lively's lawsuit against Justin Baldoni is falling apart as new evidence contradicts her claims. Taylor Swift distanced herself, and Ryan Reynolds faces pressure. Chelsea Handler's roast signaled Hollywood's shift against Blake. With the trial looming, her career hangs in the balance. Like, share, and comment your thoughts.